Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Let's get ready to be at our best now. Be at our best.
Yeah, it's going to be a boring one today.
Those guys don't all suck.
You son of a B!
ASAP, any score, any place, you know we bring well. We bout there. We'll pull up on anybody and get it done.
Suck it, Raiders.
He is dicked.
I love you, Jay. Bye.
Joe, start fast.
They're the next team on our schedule, and we trying to do something big here. We trying to win a Super Bowl.
It's another beautiful day.
It is.
Doggone it, everybody. Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Wool Dog, sitting with two Duggan brothers, like Kev, Hug, and Duggan.
Hi, guys.
And Kyle, the coach, Duggan.
Yep.
Yep.
And in case you guys were wondering if Kyle sounded a little different, he does, because his beard is gone and he looks like he's 15. So if he sounds like he's going through puberty, that is why he sounds like that.
Wow.
That's kind of a weird, like, no one saw me. My voice doesn't sound different because I don't have a beard. Kevin just wanted to throw that out there to get things started.
Like a baby. A little baby.
Yeah, Kyle wanted to start No Shave November fresh. Wanted to show what he can do in a month.
I did the Movember mustache for a solid 4 days, and I couldn't even look at myself anymore. So I just had to shave it off and start over.
I enjoyed it. I don't think anybody else did, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's another one of those weeks, folks. It's a punch in the gut every ding dang week, and we've only had 2 wins this season, and it feels like we've only had 2 wins this season.
Look at it this way: we found a new way to lose. At least there was something unexpected.
We didn't blow a lead.
No, we didn't do that this week.
No, the one thing you can always say about a Charger game is that it will always be exciting if you're not a Charger fan.
It's exciting. You just leave heartbroken.
Right, you just
100%.
leave with your heart in 2 pieces. So before we get into any of it, folks, let's take a look at what exactly happened in this goddamn game. It started off in the fashion of the way it kind of ended. The first quarter was pretty bleak. We saw Balaga go down. We saw Justin Jackson leave the game with an injury. Badgley misses a field goal. It's like, what else is new? All right, we're Charger fans. We got guys going down with injuries. We're missing field goals. It's another Charger game, and the Raiders put up a touchdown in the first quarter. So Chargers leaving first quarter down 7 points. Second quarter sees us going for it on 4th down, giving Kalen Ballage his first touchdown as a Charger and ties the game. Good to see him
out of
going
nowhere,
out there finding the end zone.
Yeah,
I'm all right with that. He's a big boy too. He's tall. He's hefty. He's a big running back. It's different. Not what we're used to seeing in our backfield.
Yeah, it's a nice change of pace.
Yeah. Then, speaking of change of pace, Raiders then take the lead later in the quarter, and Chargers respond with Herbert connecting with Keenan Allen wide open, God knoweth how, to score a 27-yard touchdown. And then with like 20 seconds left in the half, Raiders, for some reason, were trying to make a play happen, and big boy Jerry Tillery says, not today, strip sacks Derek Carr, recovers a fumble, and with only 8 seconds left on the clock, we don't trust our chance to make any kind of play, so we just look to Badgley to give us a 3-point cushion going into the half. Chargers are up 17-14. Not too shabby. We've seen better, I guess. Raiders starting the half, scoring a touchdown, and then another. Second half, I should say. Raiders starting the second half, scoring a touchdown, then another. The score is now 28-17. Later in the quarter, Herbert connects with Tyron Johnson, making another appearance with a 50-yard toss. However, we couldn't get it in the end zone.
So pretty.
It was pretty. That was a very pretty catch. But we couldn't get it in the end zone, so we had to turn to Badgley yet again, try to get some of his name back with a 29-yard field goal. Fourth quarter now, saw the Chargers truck it down the field from their own 18, and on a play that looked like Herbert was just like throwing it away, just trying to make it not a sack. Somehow it wound up in that midst of fellow roommate Gabe Neighbors and walked it into the end zone unabated. That was pretty impressive. However, that was also the play that every Charger fan's heart stopped for a minute as we saw Herbert grabbing his leg, and it was like, oh dear.
It looked like he got kneed in the nuts. That's if you go back and look at that, he got kneed square in the nuts.
Either way.
Yeah, and in the post-game presser, he was like, I took a hit and it didn't feel good, but now I'm okay.
Yeah.
That was sounded like he was trying to tiptoe around a nut shot.
Very well
Yeah,
could have been.
he got hit square in the nuts.
Well,
kneed.
Either way, it took him out of the 2-point conversion attempt. So we saw Tyrod Taylor, healthy now after a punctured lung, come in to attempt the 2-point conversion, but came up empty.
You know what? I'm just glad he didn't take the ball and throw it in the stands. Say F off, guys. Like, oh, you're gonna puncture my lung? You want this 2 points? Just hucks it in
If
the stands.
anything, it just speaks to his character.
Team player.
He is a leader on this team, and we're happy to have him, even if he couldn't make that 2-point conversion. And then to add insult to injury, that's fourth quarter is the quarter we see KJ Hill muff a punt after our defense was able to hold the Raiders back. Raiders moved up to 31 points. Chargers are sitting at 26. And that's all we're ever going to see because the Chargers' final drive was impressive, including converting another fourth down. The final play was a toss to Donald Parham Jr., who every camera angle made it look like a touchdown. The refs called it a touchdown. And then we all saw that one dreaded camera angle that saw the ball slipping out of his hands and hitting the ground. And that was the end of it. And yeah.
2 things on the end of this game. 1, we won that game for about 45 seconds. I'm just saying, the celebration, I was pumped. Whenever I yell, my kid runs into my office where I watch the games. He's like, Daddy, what happened? Did we win? I'm like, yeah, buddy. Nobody.
And we all woke up from our dream and came back to reality.
2, SoFi Stadium. How dare you have great angles on every part of that field? Like you're playing this game in a crappy
Enough
stadium.
cameras, guys.
Like we screwed ourselves because every single angle except for that one showed him catching the ball. So God damn you, technology.
That was such a.
And how was that not a pass interference, by the way? That was my other question. How we got screwed on that last week and didn't get it this week.
When the ball went to Parham and he went down, I see the ref standing right there. Raider is on top of him. I'm like, well, that's a pass interference. It's going to be pass interference. But then he throws the touchdown hands up, and I'm like, okay, I'll take a touchdown over a pass interference. But then when it gets called back, it's like, well, what about the pass interference? Damn it.
It's just not our year.
None of this isn't, man.
Nothing's going our way. Absolutely nothing. Like the muff punt, like I saw that and it was just like, okay, this is it. That was it. That was the game changer. That changed everything.
Well, and here's the problem. It's like you look at our stats and the stats look great, right?
Yeah.
Herbert is the rookie of the millennium. It seems like his stats are insane. Like we're doing good things, but it's just like I talked about a couple of weeks ago. It's just like these timing momentum plays that don't necessarily always show up on the stat sheet. So yeah, the muff punt, the pass interference that got called on Jalen Guyton on that deep ball that we ended up settling for a field goal instead of getting it in the end zone. There's just like
the other big one was the kickoff to start the second half where they returned it to the 50-yard line.
Right.
And that began the field position control they had for the second half.
Yep.
I saw that. I was like, oh no.
Yeah. It's just the timing of certain little plays here and there that they don't necessarily always show up on the stat sheet, but it's like, golly, when you watch the game, it's like, yep, those are the plays that you got to make one of those plays or eliminate one of those bad plays and things will get a W. It seems like we just can't eliminate that one play somehow.
Right. Whatever the reason seems to be, we can't find it.
There was an element where I thought it was going to shift for us, where at the end of that first half, 6 seconds left, we strip him, we kick a field goal. Like that is huge.
Right.
That we haven't had anything like that all season. That has not been our team able to come up big and get a turnover. So I was like, okay, things are going good. I'm sure these guys are going to go into the locker room halftime, jacked out of their minds, ready to go. Soon as we come back out, the kickoff, return at 50 yards, deflated again.
There's no reason that we should ever allow someone to return a kick. I don't get it. Especially as the Chargers. Right. Kick the ball 10 yards through the end zone.
Right.
And that's that. And like, don't try to get hang time so we can try to pin him in. No. Kick the ball through the end zone, ball to 25 every single series. Like it's just like I don't get it. I don't understand how you're gonna, like you said, Kev, big momentum play, strip sack, kick a field goal, all the momentum. You kick off and let them return it back to the 50, and there goes all that momentum. Yeah.
Well, and our special teams is so piss poor, man. Greg Rosenthal on Twitter posted Chargers special teams ranks per FBoutsiders is 2020, 32nd, 2019, 32nd, 2018, 25th, 2017, 31st. So the year we were 25th was the year we made it to the playoffs. We just can't be 31st or 32nd
Dead
worst special teams unit in the league. That needs to be a change, a focus. They need to get their heads out of their ass and figure out the special teams, because they were clutch in losing us opportunities to win that game on Sunday.
Yeah, it's 3 phases. They're not one that's more important than the other. You have to have a full 3 phases of football to win football games, and special teams is a third of that game.
Right.
And they seem little, and you kind of move on because it's only one play, but a missed field goal here, a big return there, a muff punt here, like it just adds up in such big ways that it kills the game.
Absolutely.
And our special teams coach wears shorts on his face to block COVID, which is kind of a power move, if you ask me.
It does look like a cartoonish elephant trunk that he's got on his face.
Yeah.
I mean, if it works for him, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I mean,
he's saving his money because next year he might not have a job, so you don't want to spend money on masks. You know what I mean?
That's very
save
possible.
your money.
Oh, that was a good one, Kev.
That was pretty dope.
Yeah, it's the thing that I struggle with this game is the constant hindsight from the fans. Like, I totally get it. Like, we're all upset. We're looking for reasons. We're trying to pinpoint why this isn't working, because apparently our coaching staff can't do it. But the more that I think about it, the beauty and the ugliness of pretty much any sports game, including football, is you get one shot. Like, we can all say, well, because there's been talk about, like, why are you throwing a fade toss to a third string tight end in the end zone on your final play? It's like, why is that?
He's
the play
caught
that
every touchdown thrown to him, by the way.
Yeah, every catch that he's been tossed, he's got a touchdown out of it. Why wouldn't you throw it to that guy? And
hindsight's 2020, man.
Hindsight is always 2020. But that's my point, is like, everybody feels like they're dissecting every part of this game as if, well, this is what you should have used, or like opening the drawer in the kitchen and going like, oh, well, here's the tool that will fix everything. Why weren't you guys using this? It's like, yeah, I can't.
Well, and I think our fan base is even going to the point where, like, I saw something where somebody posted, remember that in Hard Knocks when coach, they cut Vollert and he got all like aggressive and really weird in his face, and coach kind of backed him down. And then he was talking to Tommy T, and he's like, he ain't no Gates. And that was a funny comment. So, and then people are now using that as like, that's not leadership. You don't talk about your players like that. It's like, you can take any of these moments and flip it whatever way you want. If you want to be negative about it, go ahead. You can be negative about it. But we all, when we saw that without any context for what the season was like, wow, coach owned that guy. That was pretty funny.
Sure.
Because he isn't Antonio Gates, for a fact. So I saw that and I was just like, you know what? Everyone's allowed their opinion and allowed to get really down and make, and a lot of them, in all honesty, there's a lot of funny jokes. Like, people are being shitty but having fun with it. Like, those are the ones that I'm engaged with and having fun with. But just being shitty to be shitty, it's like, sucks.
I mean, it just feels over analyzed to the point where it's like, these are all plays and instances that happen immediately, and they're based on. Because I can't imagine Lynn was like, throw it to Donald Parham on that last play. He could have thrown it to a number of people. He could have ran it in if he wanted to. He's capable of doing that. But that was the decision that Herbert made. Nobody was forcing him to do that. Nobody's forcing any of these guys to make the plays that they're making. And that's where I struggle as a fan. Like, I don't know what these guys are doing or what they're thinking or how they're coming up with the plays or what the decisions are when they're throwing it to Keenan Allen or they're throwing it to Mike Williams. It's like, those all come down to Herbert making those decisions at the time. So I can't be angry at anybody. I can't be angry at the coach. I can't be angry at the players. Like, I'm just a fan, and I just want to continue being a fan. So you won't see me ripping my jersey going, I'm done with this team. I'm over it. Like, I'm always going to love this team. And other people are like, well, we're going to get mad, but we're still going to love the team. It's like, I can't get mad, dude. Life's too short.
Well, the thing is, the beauty of this whole thing is that we have Justin Herbert. That is the beauty of this whole situation.
Shining silver lining to this.
He's the hope.
There's hope for the future. Whatever is happening right now, in all of our minds, can get fixed because we have the star quarterback that we need for this team. So it makes all these things easier.
Yeah. It's just crazy. Like, going back to what you said, Wooly, if you want to get mad at coaching and that's like how you grieve and how you deal with the losses, that's totally fine. Like, I understand that. But us three, that's just not what we turn to. So it's, if you're wanting us to just rag on the coaches the whole time, I'm going to critique him later in my coach's corner, because there are a couple things that they were poorly done from a coaching perspective. But I'm not going to blame everything on a coach. That's never what we're going to do. If you're a fan and that's what you want to do and that helps you deal with the loss, that's totally fine.
Go for it, yeah.
But yeah, that's just, there's so many different things going on in a game to influence it. So yeah, I mean, we'll get, like I said, I'll get to it a little bit later, and everyone's calling me out on social media stuff. Like, how are you going to defend the coaches this time? I have some honest critiques, for sure, but I never put the whole loss on any one person. It's a team game. That's the best part about football, is everyone takes the L, not just the coaches, not just the players.
Yeah. If we look at the stats for the game, Chargers beat out the Raiders on first down. We had 26 first downs versus the Raiders 16, 18 passes for a first down versus the Raiders 6. I mean, their rushing game was really the shining moment for them. But even that,
we own them in every category.
Right.
Third down efficiency, fourth down efficiency,
total
yards, total plays, rushes,
net yards passing, completion,
time of possession.
Attempts.
We had them. We had almost 10 minutes of possession over them. Like, everything in these columns should say we won,
right?
But it's not. So how can you look at these stats and in your right mind be like, oh, well, we can pinpoint this, we can fix this, we can win this game. Look at this. Like, the Raiders barely won in any of these categories.
Yeah.
So it's just, you throw your hands up and it's like, what is going on?
Yeah, it just adds to the confusion and why, I mean, if anything, it makes sense why the fans are as upset as they are, because we can't point to one thing. You can't just say
that's a great
this
point.
Guy's fault, because it just adds to the confusion when you have a player like Herbert playing as well as he is on his rookie year, and we put the numbers up that we do, that you can go, well, it all whittles down to this, because you can't pinpoint it to one play. You can't pinpoint it to one player. You can't even pinpoint it to one coach. It's just all these weird little things happen. Like, we're in the Twilight Zone. Like, somebody, there's a monkey's paw whose finger keeps disappearing, like, every time a weird play happens, and you can't explain why it happens. It's just it's frustrating.
Let me propose this point, because I think for me, like, I respect that sentiment. I respect that sentiment.
Let me stop you right there. I
partially agree with you. It's a simple stat line that, you take from previous games. The simplest thing for me to see, and it kind of reinforced my thoughts on it. The last 5 games for the Chargers, our defense has given up 38, 30, 29, 31, and 31 points in the last 5 games. That is a shit ton of points. Mm-hmm. So our stud quarterback can go out there and pretty much have the most banged up offensive line, where he is getting pressured more than most people in this league, and still being able to do what he's doing. But if your defense fails at this kind of level on stopping scoring, you're not going to win football games. It's just not going to happen. Let me say it again: 38 points, 30, 29, 31, 31. You can't do that.
And the bulk of those are happening in the second half of the game. Like, I mean, these are all these blown leads that we've been talking about. We're breaking records by blowing these 16-point leads.
So I'm heavily my shift, because at some point you're gonna have to start picking a side. Like, we can't just be like, Switzerland and not want to get into this fight. Like somebody's going to have to pick what
can be.
All right, Switzerland. That's your new nickname, Switzerland.
That's fine.
Bulldog Switzerland.
I'll wear it proudly.
I'm leaning on the fact that the defense is fully falling apart in these games and giving up so many unnecessary big plays and so many unnecessary points. I'm taking a stance right now, and this is how I feel so far in the season. And the one thing I think you even partially clean up and make a little better, we start winning these games. We start holding these guys to 28, 21 points, 21 to 28 points. We win these games.
That's progress.
That's the easiest thing for me to look at and be like, you hold these people under 28 points. Our boy is putting up 30 every week. He's on that cusp every single week. Our offense is putting up points, even with Balaj, even with guys that came off the practice squad and are starting. It's just, you see what we're capable of, and that's what's so frustrating. I want the defense to get better now. Cut the shit, get better.
Here's
now.
my only defense, and I agree with you for the most part. My only defense of attacking one aspect of a football team is if you give the opposing team the ball at the 40-yard line, at the 45-yard line, the chances of stopping them diminish. You let them start the ball on our side of the field. We have turnovers. Our special team sucks. They're going to score points, and you can't just go, defense is giving up points. Now, for the most part, that's not always what's happening. We haven't turned the ball over a huge amount of times. It's still once a game at least, is what we're averaging. So they're still turning the ball over, which leads to quick, easy points. Right? Our special teams, muffing punts, blocked kicks. You can't just say the defense is not doing well, so they're scoring a lot of points. I'm not saying that the defense is playing outstanding.
I don't think you can say they're even playing good. I think you need to get realistic on that. I don't even think they're playing well. You think about you can look at a quarter and be like, they had a great quarter. They stopped and they shut them down. It's the whole. You look at the whole game. This defense is not a consistent.
Okay, I agree. So what are we trying to blame it on though? Are we trying to blame it on the coaching?
I'm not
defense?
I'm not trying to place blame. I'm trying to describe my feeling.
You are. You're saying you have to pick sides.
I'm personally.
And right
I need
now
to
you're saying
decide
defense is that fault.
We said it in the beginning. We don't know what's going on. There's no real rhyme or reason as to why this is happening. When I'm watching Chargers football now, when we're on defense, I'm nervous.
You always have been.
But I'm extra nervous now.
Yeah.
I'm not nervous when our offense is on the field. I am nervous when our defense is on the field.
Here's the problem. 3 of our best players on defense coming into the season, Chris Harris, Joey Bosa, Derwin James, all 3, none of them played a down in the last game. Your defense, even with a special teams muffed kick, giving them a 50-yard kickoff return and allowing them to start on one punt, they started on their own 45. Here's my point: I'm not saying that they're playing outstanding. They're banged up and they're putting random crap together to try to salvage football games, and we're in every single game.
Right.
So it's just, for me, I can't say this one aspect needs to get better, because I just think it's part of a bigger cog that needs to get fixed. And if you want to say that bigger cog is the head coach, then that's fine. But I don't know what it is.
Agree to disagree.
Okay.
I think I think Kyle is. I mean,
yeah,
again,
you pick, Adam. Who are you with? Let's go. You're
he's Switzerland, dude. He doesn't go to battles. He doesn't war.
I'm not. I can't pick what the reason is, because right now this is like the Chargers are like a jack in the box, and you wind the thing, and when the thing pops out, a gun comes out and shoots you in the face. Like, what happened? I don't even know why that happened. Who would build something like this? Why would that exist? And that's the Chargers right now. Like, why does this team exist?
There's your episode title, Jack in the Box.
Build something like this gun Jack in the Box.
This murderous Jack in the Box.
It doesn't make sense. And you would feel, it feels like we always like take a step forward and then 2 steps back. We make progress. We see some promising talent coming out of players that we don't even realize are on the team. And then all of a sudden we blow some other plays. It's multiple
It's
issues.
crazy, man. We're getting this, like, the Chargers never get national attention. It just doesn't happen. Even when we're great and we make the playoffs and we're beating teams, and you're not on ESPN. All of a sudden we're all over it because we find ways to blow these incredible leads. It's like, that's all anyone can talk about.
It's more interesting to see how we're going to lose a game. for
Yeah.
the rest for non-Charger fans. They're like, "Ooh, let's tune in to see how they're going to mess this one up
Let's
this week."
find out. And
Right.
that's what it is. And
Yeah.
also
While being competitive
While
and
being
fun to watch.
competitive,
Oh my
That is the
God.
biggest
still having
conundrum.
a quarterback that's playing his balls off out there, like that's what's
fun to watch.
It's a fun game. Like it wouldn't surprise me if Chargers have more primetime games next year just for like freak factor alone. Like what could possibly happen in a Charger game? Like they're just that weird and exciting. But it still sucks. It still hurts to take the loss. As we look to some of the quotes that we've pulled from Gilbert Manzano, talking from Anthony Lynn, saying he can't remember a season like this in my entire football life. Hashtag Chargers.
No, neither
Me
can
neither.
I. He's played been around it a lot longer than we have, and I've never seen anything like this.
And when they talked to Herbert, he was at least keeping it positive as the best he could, saying, I believe in our coaching staff and I believe in the team we have here. It hasn't gone our way over the past couple of weeks, but we're a tough team. We're a tight locker room, and I believe 100% in all the guys and all the coaching staff that we have here.
What a gem.
I know.
I'm telling you,
what a
this
peach.
guy
I love him.
is the most versed like interview
Ready to go
in history. You
He can
know,
be a
like,
politician. He's
yeah,
that
oh
good.
yeah.
The one
Yeah.
thing I would be curious to do, and I've seen it in for like presidents, they'll show like presidents at the start of their term and then presidents at the end, and they always look like old and ragged and aged.
Disheveled.
I want to
In
see
4
Justin
years,
Herbert.
they've aged
Their
like
eyes.
50
I want to see
years.
Justin Herbert on his first game and the last game of this season and see how much he's aged.
He's got
just
a
in
full
one
beard,
season.
like bags under his eyes.
He truly, I mean, as positive as he's talking, he just looks wrecked. Like he just does not look like he almost doesn't look like he has the energy to get up to the podium, but he finds a way.
Could you imagine being him though right now, where you're a rookie, you're coming in, you weren't expecting to do anything this year, you're playing amazingly, and you're losing these stupid close games to basically no fault of your own.
And Tua Tagovailoa is 2-0 and he doesn't do shit. Like
Jack.
that's so frustrating.
It's
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. And lastly, from Keenan Allen, his quote was, "Shit, I could talk about this since the second week of the season. Just close games. We're not winning them. That's just been the story of the season so far in the first half."
Dude, see, that's the interview that I love. Just like that's like real. Like
It's real.
shit, I don't know.
Right.
Don't ask me. I don't know what's going on.
Right. It's yeah, he's just as confused as the fans going, I don't know. I don't know. Somebody needs to know. Somebody needs to figure it the out.
So here's the one thing I'll say, like, as much as Justin Herbert's answer seems versed and like rehearsed and like that's just like this is what you're supposed to say, we've seen NFL players turn on their coaches in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
in a second. You saw it on the Cowboys, you've seen it with the Jets, you've seen it all over the NFL. And that's the one thing you can say about our team is either our players that Telesco brought in are just extremely high character and they're not going to do that, or they really do still believe in the coaching staff and they still are playing hard for them.
It feels like when you watch them play, I mean, and I'm not blaming the defense, but when you watch the defense play, especially Casey Hayward, it felt like they were targeting Casey Hayward when the Raiders were on offense. And it just like, he just wasn't getting, I don't know if he's lost some pep in his step. I don't know if he's just not playing aggressive. He's just playing a little soft. I don't know what the reason is, but it felt like seeing him and I love him because he still made some good plays in the game, but there was just a couple times where you're just like, man, why aren't you there? Like you should be
Big
there.
plays.
You're
Big bombs.
Casey Hayward.
That
man.
Nelson Aguilar pass was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
I think he's honestly, I think he's trying to play through pain right now. He got hurt last week. He didn't finish out the game, and now he's coming back on an injury. I'm not going to blame it on injuries. It is what it is. He played through it. He gutted through it. He didn't sit out, but that's the only thing I can assume because he didn't look like himself this week. He just his normal like energy wasn't there. It just didn't seem like a normal Casey Hayward game because he did get beat a little. I don't know if they necessarily targeted him. I didn't see the stats of how many times they threw to him versus everyone else. They didn't really throw the ball that many times.
That's true. It just felt like the
felt
Raiders'
like it.
big plays came when they were heading
Came
towards
on
Casey
Casey.
Hayward's way.
Right.
And then finally at Sunday's post-game media availability, the only way to express Lynn's emotions would be disappointment after dropping another close game. I told the guys, just keep competing. They did what I asked them to do. We've been kicked in the gut 6 times. That's 6 times too many for me. Well, my heart's
I
been
like
broken
that.
6 times this season.
Yeah, I've been in
I've been
shambles
kicked in
for
the
6
nuts
weeks
6 times.
in the last 8.
Yeah,
So
I'm not a fan of it either.
Yeah, my wife's not happy with the way that I'm dealing with it either. So it'd be nice if you could get this shit together, Lynn.
yeah, come on, our families depend on it. Chargers,
Yeah.
come on.
It sucks. It just sucks. There's no other way to put it. And if you want to get angry about it, go ahead and get angry about it.
We support your anger.
I support your anger 100%. Just I won't be holding the pitchfork and the the torch with you on the sideline.
I did see Bold God put on his Instagram that he was gonna go to the stadium with sage to like have some kind of a seance
Cleansing?
and like clean the spirits.
Do it,
So,
Bold God.
If he decides to do that, I will drive the 2 hours to come up and be there with you because there has to be some evil spirits at SoFi Stadium for us.
Something.
Whatever works. If it works, I'm all for it. Just make it work. Make it happen. Yeah, looking at the injury report, it was strange. I because I've got Justin Jackson on my fantasy team.
I was playing you this
and
week.
And you beat the snot out of me because 2 of my players gave me 0 points, and I think Tom Brady got me negative points. So congratulations, Kevin. I hope you're happy. Yeah, Justin Jackson got hurt during warmups. What?
What, dude? That dude is never consistently healthy.
Dude, Kalen Balazs is 15 rushes for 69 yards and a touchdown, and he had a pretty couple sweet catches. And like not on there is he broke some tackles in open field for big first downs a couple of times.
And just the momentum he got when he would meet contact, he would still get a yard or two.
Yeah.
You're not getting that out of Justin Jackson this year.
Justin,
It's
if he
not
doesn't
looking
come
good
back
for
with
him.
some vengeance here fast at the end of the year, things are going to be tough for him to, I think, even make the squad next year.
Well, it's very possible.
No, I think once Eckler comes back, if Balazs keeps doing what he's doing, it's going to be him. And I think Jackson is just done.
Josh Kelly, I mean, it's Eckler, Kelly, and so it's either Jackson or Balazs, and Jackson just cannot stay healthy to save his life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, availability is your best asset.
Absolutely.
He is never consistently available.
Right.
So at some point, you just need to move on.
Speaking of availability, Brian Balaga was available for about 2 plays before he went down. And
dude, he
Golly.
like that when he got hit in the back, like that. It felt like an old man thing. Like the way he got hit, it wasn't like egregious. It was just kind of a guy bumped into him. But like that, his back must be in bad shape to get kind of not really hit hard, go down and be out for the game. So I'm really concerned about that. And
dude, our
what
free
happened
agent
with
signings
Hopkins.
this offseason, we were so excited about it coming into the year, and they've just there's old farts that cannot play football anymore.
right.
One of these days we'll see Trey Turner. Maybe Chris Harris will
I
come
don't
back.
think
Who
so.
knows?
I think he's just going to retire,
Right,
and he
yeah.
came to LA to enjoy his last year.
Who, Balaga?
No, Harris.
Trey Turner.
Oh,
Trey
so
Turner.
everyone thinks
All
they're all
three of them
came
are
here for
old
one year to
Fogies
retire.
came to LA to retire.
Yeah, I mean,
Shitty place to retire, by the way.
I guess, yeah.
Really
Especially in 2020. Yeah, seeing Balaga go down, Chris Harris.
He's still on IR. Hope, and I think coach said he wouldn't count on Chris Harris playing this week. Harris is on IR with a foot injury, and that was from Daniel Popper. He said that.
Yeah. And
Sweet.
still no word.
I just want Trey Turner's like, as long as he doesn't get hurt again, like he's projecting towards playing. Because what happened this week for him in the injury report during the week, like he was a limited participant, he was questionable.
Right.
And then that was what happened the week before Balaga started playing. So hopefully he can get in there, be full participant. It's going to be a big thing to look at, was it Wednesday practice to see what that is going to be, because you can get Trey Turner in there. It makes things a little easier, Granted, I don't know because I haven't seen him play any football. Like, who knows where he's at? But the hype train, we want to see it. So
Yeah.
we want to see that train go out on the field.
Right. Yeah, there's too many injuries on big playmakers that we need to have out there. That's the thing, is I think that's part of it, is we have players that are fully capable. Kalen Balazs is fully capable. Tyron Johnson, fully capable. Jalen Guyton, Gabe Neighbors, these guys are all fully capable, but we're just not getting those big explosive plays that we need because all those guys are injured. Joey Bosa, Derwin James, Chris Harris, Drew Tranquil. Austin Eckler, like they're the ones that we've paid the big money to make those big plays, and they're all just sitting on the side right now. And that's
It's hard to ignore.
It's hard to ignore because these guys, they're good. They're keeping us in the game. They're just not enough to push us over the edge and give us that win. So I'm not slamming these guys because they're good players. They're keeping us in the game, but we need them to step up and just give us that little bit extra edge to give us the W. So anyway, I'm grasping at straws. Let's turn it over to somebody who's a little bit more competent and understands the game a little bit better. Let's look over now to the coach as he gives us his coach's corner.
All right, so there's a lot of drama about this last drive that we had.
What?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
What?
Believe it or not.
What?
Shut your mouth.
It happened. So well, I wanted to look at some of the things that happened. And this is less of a play diagnosis as I've done in the past and more of a topical review of some of the main points of that final drive. And I want to preface this with remembering who's out there on the field, right? I've seen a lot of people questioning, like, why do we throw short so much? Why don't we take some chances deep? I want to give you a reminder of our previous quarterback who liked to take shots deep at the end of the game and take chances and threw picks, and we were all pissed off at that. So just to preface and to calm ourselves a little bit, and then also remembering that basically our only offensive lineman that's still playing in the position he's supposed to be playing in was the one that we were coming into the season with the most question about. So, I mean, no, we have 4 offensive linemen playing in not the right spots. Now, Feeney's still playing, but he was slotted in at left guard to start the season.
Right.
So it's just and that Raider team was bringing some pass rush. So I saw a lot of people questioning why we were checking down so much. And I think it's not something to really question at all. It's if that's what they give you, that's what you take. And that's what we've seen with the lead at the end of the game. That's what the opponent does to us as well. They nickel and dime us all the way down the field. And everyone's always pissed off that we're in a soft cover 3 and they're able to pick us apart underneath. That's exactly what we did to the Raiders. We took what they gave us and we marched all the way down the field. So that's why we passed the ball short. We took a couple chances deep. We hit Mike on that nice little almost shallow corner right under the safety at the end of the game where he got out of bounds and they said he wasn't going forward, so the clock was running. But I just wanted to preface it with that. Now, looking at the drive as a whole, do you guys remember how much time was on the clock when we started our final drive? What would you have said? Like right now, what do you think? Did it feel like it went quick? There wasn't a lot. Like how much do you think was on the clock?
It's I honestly don't remember. I was blinded by my panic. I think 90 seconds.
I think we were more than 2 because I feel like the 2-minute warning came during the drive.
We had 4 minutes and 37 seconds when we got the ball.
Oh, Jesus.
Pretty incredible that we took 4.5 minutes, 16 plays to go all the way down the field. So you think about it, like that's a big drive. And so in my mind, I was like, how on earth did we get down to a 1st and goal with like 14 seconds on the clock? And I was like, there's got to be somewhere that we mismanaged some time. And that's what everyone's kind of upset about. There was one gross mismanagement of time. It was right out of the 2-minute warning. Right before the 2-minute warning, it was 3rd down. So it was like 2:12 on the clock when the last play ended. We didn't rush to the line to get a playoff. And I'm okay with that because it was 3rd down. That was a big 3rd down. We needed to make it. It gave him some time to pick a play. We still had all 3 timeouts. So like, I wasn't too worried about that, but out of the 2-minute warning, Herbert got pressure right away. He scrambled. It's the one that he was like inches away from a 1st down. He got hit pretty hard, and he was inches away from a 1st down. Coach Lynn is on the sideline yelling at the ref to like stop the play, and he was hoping for a booth review. So he was over there chirping in the ref's ear, like, "Are you guys gonna measure that? Are they looking at it? Are they looking at it?"
Right.
Didn't hear anything. They just let the clock run basically, and finally, after he was done moaning and complaining, it's 4th and inches. We call a timeout after almost 30 seconds had run off the clock.
Right.
30 seconds, like 27 seconds ran off the clock between Herbert getting tackled and us calling a timeout.
Wow.
Like you have 3 timeouts, man. Like even if it is 4th down, like you're going to call a timeout there. You want to get your play drawn up. We ended up getting it and it was an awesome play call. We ran that quick little option to Balaj and he ran for the 1st down. So at least we got the 1st down, but like that was a gross mismanagement of the clock. That was a big error, hoping and just praying that somehow the booth would review it and stop the clock for you instead of just using one of your 3 timeouts. Because you take those 30 seconds. We don't have to spike the ball on 1st and goal. You could take a chance, and you have 4 plays instead of 2. So that I will agree with the fan base. That was coaching. That was a coaching issue. That was a bad decision. I think if you ask Coach Lynn, he would admit, I was hoping that the booth was going to review it. They didn't. I got caught with my hand in my pants, and I lost 30 seconds, and that really was not a good look. Clock management. That was the one thing that I saw. Play calling. I thought it was a good mix of play calling. Everyone wanted us to take a shot deep. This is not a second quarter, middle of the game where you can throw a ball deep to Jalen Guyton and hope something happens. That's what they're taking away. They were playing they ran a little bit of man here and there with pressure, but most of the time they were in a soft cover 2. So they were back. It's going to be hard, and you're running the risk of that pick, and the game is on the line. So I was okay with 4.5 minutes on the clock. Take what they give you and move down the field, and we did just that. We had an opportunity to win the game. So I'm not upset with us not going down the field right away. When we did, Herbert was perfect and hit Mike Williams on that beautiful pass. So I thought it was, we ran a couple draws even, which I thought was great. I texted you guys in the middle of the game. I was like, man, we need to run a couple draws, some screens to kind of ease up this pass rush. And they did that. We ran a couple screens. We ran a draw. So I thought as far as play calling goes, I thought it was a pretty good little mix. Like we didn't seem like we were rushed or scared with this 1.5-year offensive coordinator and Shane Steichen. I thought he was pretty composed with his play calling. So I thought you could say, hey, we should have taken a couple shots deep. You can say that, but we were in a position. I don't think that the play calling is what kept us from winning the game at the end. Now the last 2 plays, this is where I will critique a little bit. So the first play, we spiked on 1st and goal. We had the ball at like the 3 or 4 yard line. We spike it to stop the clock. So it's 2nd and goal. So here's one thing. The starting left corner for the Raiders is Trayvon Mullen. He got hurt in the first half and never came back. So that corner out there that made those 2 great plays was Isaiah Johnson. He's a 2nd-year guy. He's like a 5th round pick, I believe. He's spotted here and there. He's mostly a special teams guy. Doesn't get a lot of reps. I think he has like 12 career tackles. So not extremely experienced defender. And the coaches know that. The quarterback knows that. The receivers know that. This guy's not the guy. When you line up there on 1st and goal, they're in man-to-man coverage. You see Mike Williams on a backup that hasn't played much. That's the decision. You don't even have to look anywhere else. It may have even not been the play call. Justin may have just looked at Mike and been like, yep, go. Because like that's how much of it, that's the decision you have to do. You have to take that shot. So that 2nd down play where we threw the ball to Mike, that was 100% the right decision. That's what you do. They line up. And like you said earlier, Adam, like, I'm sorry, Wool Dog. I don't even know if everyone knows that your name is Adam.
You guys have called me Adam plenty of times, so I don't think it's a secret.
Okay.
I'm calling him Switzerland.
Yeah. That's what you said earlier, Switzerland, that like they made, like there was other plays going on the other side. And I saw one guy really upset that they didn't throw a slant to Keenan Allen. The reason the slant looked like it was there is because the linebacker saw Justin's eyes go to right to Mike. So he faded away. Running a slant to a slot receiver, that's a recipe for disaster most of the time, because that linebacker can sit underneath it really quick and take it the other way, game over. So I thought that was the right decision, was going to Mike Williams, try to hit the quick fade, and you still had a 2nd on the clock because that's a quick play.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the second one, I don't agree with at all. I don't like going right back to the same guy on the same play. And although, Parham has played well, and he's made some plays, that's not your guy, right?
No.
Mike Williams is your guy. Like, even earlier in the season, his 50-50 balls are 70-30 balls. That's your guy. Like, that's what he's built for, is that situation.
But Mike couldn't play in that play. Mike was injured.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So on the first play, he was in, so you throw it. The second play, you get Parham in that matchup. That's not a little 5'10" corner. Isaiah Johnson's 6'2", 210. Like, he's a bigger dude. He's a strong guy. That's not that big of a mismatch for your rookie XFL tight end.
Right.
So I don't like that. That's like Justin saw the matchup, saw man to man. Okay, this is my go. I don't put it on Justin because that's still, I guess, is the right call. That was an option route, so he could have either thrown that. On the other side, they had that little quad diamond wide receiver formation, and they were setting up a screen to Keenan. So he could have, if he didn't like the look with Parham, he could have thrown to Keenan. I don't like that play either because you're blocking 4 guys with 3 and hoping Keenan makes somebody miss. I don't like that. I personally, what I would have loved to see is something similar to what the Broncos did to us last week. Get Herbert out of the pocket, put pressure on that defender to either come up and try to make the play. And if he does that, you dunk it over his head. Or if he stays back, let your big 6'5", 220-pound quarterback go make a play.
6'6".
Whatever, however tall and big and strong, and
He's
Kevin's
6
all
foot
over
6,
his stats
6'3".
every day. Oh, Justin Herbert. But whatever it is, like, let him get out of the pocket and try to make a play. Be athletic and do something. Throwing 2 fades, obviously it didn't work, and it's easy for us to critique now. But the first one, perfect. I thought it was a great call. The second one, I would have got him out of the pocket and tried to make something happen. So I will agree with you guys on that wasn't the greatest decision. But overall, the drive was great. There was one mismanagement of the clock that was the coach's fault 100%. And the last play call, technically he gave him 2 options, but once you saw that matchup, you knew what he was going to do. So I'm glad that he didn't make the wrong decision. I just thought the play call, we should have got him out of the pocket to let him do something.
I agree entirely. Okay. Completely agree.
There you go.
Good one. Good one,
Food
Coach.
for thought, folks.
Thanks, guys.
It's it's a fresh perspective, at least, on what happened in that last play and what could have happened. It's easy to look for, well, he was open, we should have thrown it to him. It's what's really happening, what are the plays that are actually occurring, and who is defending who, and knowing what that situation is. I mean, it's not a bad decision to throw to Parham. It's just not the best, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and he almost caught it. Like, if he would have caught it, none of us would have been having this conversation.
For half a second, he did.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, big picture probability, looking at like what your best option is. That's just not. He's not your guy with the game on the line that you're gonna put your team's W on, in my opinion. Yeah. So as a coach, I'm looking, who's my guy? Like, that's who I want to get the ball to, whether that's Keenan, whoever. Honestly, for me, I don't know how you don't go to Hunter Henry down in the red 2-yard line. Yeah. So like, that's who I would have been looking to try to get the ball to, but I'm not like I'm saying, he almost won the game for us, but that's not who I would have put the game on the line, giving him the ball.
For sure. Yeah. Henry, I mean, this whole season, Henry feels like he's been more of a blocking tight end than a receiving. He's made a couple plays, but he really hasn't been putting up the numbers that we've seen in prior seasons. So
I think that's because of the injured offensive line. They're keeping him in for pass protection a lot. Right.
Well, you saw what happened with the running backs when Pipkins gave up that first sack. It was just like egregious, and now everyone's chipping.
That was so bad.
That was one of the worst things I've seen from our offensive line. And like at that point, everyone was chipping whoever Pipkins was on. And some Pro Football Focus, I don't know if you guys follow them, but they suck because they said he was one of our best offensive graded linemen this week.
Yeah,
I guess they don't
call those into question.
Right.
Yeah, everything, all that's in question. PFF's in question, honestly, because he was getting helped on almost every play. Like every person on that team helped chip for Pipkins, and it's just amazing what Herbert was able to do.
Yeah.
With that kind of bullshit pressure.
Absolutely, keeping the game alive. All right. Well, as we normally do, let's take the turn off of Coach's Corner and hang a right on Fan Focus. What do we got this week, Mr. Kev?
So this week we drove to Orange County with Scott.
All right.
I am here with Scott from the OC. What is up, Scott? Thanks for coming on, man.
What's up? Thanks for having me on the show. Super glad to be here.
Absolutely. So thanks for reaching out. We're always glad to meet new Charger fans and hang out and chat. So, the first thing we always do is we ask, when and how did you become a Charger fan?
Well, let's see. My dad was a born and raised native San Diegan. And so I was grown up to love everything San Diego. So that's the Chargers, that's the Padres, that's the Clippers. And he even named me Scott Daniel so that my initials would be SD for San Diego.
That's
and he
awesome.
said it so that there would always be a hat with my initials on there and that I would never forget who I was because sports from San Diego are alive. So, yeah.
I love it. It's so funny you say that. I named my oldest Stellan. So his initials are SD. So that's amazing.
Nice.
That's amazing. It's loyalty right there. So
definitely.
So this is a good question then, I guess. Like when the Chargers moved from San Diego to Los Angeles, did you know you were diehard sticking with the team? No worries, or was there any pressures?
To be honest, no, we were just diehards just from the beginning, and obviously it sucked. I mean, a lot of my childhood memories are going with my dad to Qualcomm and seeing, LT in his final days and the prime of Rivers and Gates. But what was actually nice is because we were up in OC pretty much my entire life. And so when they moved over to LA, we saw that as an opportunity to actually get season tickets. So we had season tickets to StubHub, and we were able to watch all the games, and it was exciting for us because we had never been season ticket holders of the Chargers before. So if anything, it enhanced our diehardness, but a lot of the times we're still very heartbroken that it isn't our beloved San Diego.
Oh, for sure. And I think if I remember correctly, you were one of the few that got to go to Denver to go see the game there.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you. So it was kind of like we were in the center, and it was kind of like a bullseye of Bronco fans around us. And then on the outskirts, it was Charger fans. So throughout the entire first 3 quarters, basically last minute of that game, it was all the Bronco fans were seated, they were beating themselves up, and it was kind of like a bullseye target that we were all cheering around. And then when they all hit that last touchdown at the last second, they all cornered us and were cheering all loud around us, and we were just like, this freaking sucks.
Yeah, dude. It's the worst too, because you're confident for three and a half quarters, and then all of a sudden these guys that have been down the whole game, I'm sure they came up over the top and were total dicks more than they probably should have been.
Oh yeah. There's one guy who was like yelling and cheering, just like, Joey Bosa sucks, Nick Bosa's better, that's why we got through your defense. I'm just like, dude, he got a concussion, he's not even on the field, man.
Yeah, dude, that's low blow shit right there. Low blow. Oh, man.
It definitely is. Oh, that sucked. But
it's cool you got to go though. Like not a lot of the fans, I like to at least go to one game a year. And the fact that you got to go to one, that's pretty awesome. So pumped for you.
Yeah. We didn't even know that Denver was allowing fans. We were it was after Tua was announced the starter. We were looking at like, hey, what would it look like if we went to go see Tua versus Herbert and like the rookie QB showdown. And we couldn't find plane tickets to go out there. But we found that Denver was open. So we're just like, oh, well, let's see how it looks like for Denver. And we found 2 seats and we never looked back.
That's so awesome, man. All right. Well, let's get into like my last question is like, what are your thoughts having now seen and experienced this kind of loss in person? Like now going through this Raider week, experiencing this, like what are your hopes and what are your hopes for the rest of the season?
Ooh, it's hard because I would love it if the team was horrible to justify these losses.
Yeah.
But you got Herbert, who's stunning everybody and has given me as much hope as any Charger has ever had in my entirety of being a fan. And he's just playing lights out every game. We're not seeing his cap. And he's the only reason why I still think we could go 10-6. Like I'm such an emotionally positive Chargers fan that I'm just like, it's okay. It's 10-6. We can definitely go 10-6.
Yeah.
But it's hard because we're going hard, we're going at it, or Herbert's there, we're hanging on with him and Allen. And then it's just our secondary, man, it's just killing me. And especially seeing it live, you're just like, you see blown coverage over there. You're just, why do we get that tackle over there? And just seeing it, it's just, it's everything crumbling in front of you. And you just don't know how to justify it.
Yeah. It's sad, man. It's kind of this free fall we're all feeling right now. So I think we're all kind of in agreement with you. So, all right, cool. So last thing I have, clearly we got one of the more interesting games of the year coming up. It's Tua versus Herbert. You know,
so excited.
What do you think? It's hard to like put on like the next week cap right now, but like, what do you think the score is going to be? What do you think the outcome of that game is going to be?
I always love it when Herbert scores 3 touchdowns. So I'm holding true to that. Hopefully Money Badger doesn't, not even Money Badger, Badgley doesn't cost us any more field goals. So I'm going to predict 3 Herbert touchdowns, 2 Badgley kicks. So that makes it 27. And then I think Tua gets 2 good touchdowns. Maybe we stop him to 1 field goal. So I'm going to say 27-17.
All right. Well, that would be huge for the Charger defense to hold anyone under 20, 30 points. So I'm pulling for that big time.
It's a bold prediction, baby.
I love it. We'll take it. We love it. So, all right, Scott, we appreciate your time, man. And hang in there. Bolt up. We'll see you on Twitter on Sunday.
Bolt up. Okay. Love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye. Yeah. Scott rules. That was awesome. Thanks for coming on, man. That was cool.
Yeah. Thanks, dude. I love your shamelessly positive, emotional fan.
Yeah, you fit right in with us,
he's our people. He's our people. It was kind of cool to hear him talk about like going to the game, and because what I love about going to games is sitting up. I don't get too close to the field. I like to sit up high, so I like to see the plays develop. Like I'd love to just be able to watch a game and watch what the secondary is doing. So the fact that he got to see that and see how these are all developing was kind of interesting. And I forgot what that was like.
Yeah. None of us really know what it's like to see a game in 2020. Excellent. Well, thank you, Scott.
Well, thank
really
you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Thank you for bringing the positive vibes back. And
I hope he wins. I hope he wins bolt prediction this week. I hope we all lose and he wins, and that'll be.
I would
perfect
be totally fine with that.
Yeah.
All right. So we look now to Twitter, and starting us off this week is Salty Sports Guy, and he's actually made a request this week. So let's see if I can do it justice.
Come on. What has he got?
The terrible clock management was obvious and nothing new, but specifically those checkdowns to RBs that ate up so much clock. Is that on Herbert for not pushing the ball, or is that on the actual play call itself? Instead of the Randy Savage voice, please do a sassy pirate.
Oh my
That
God.
was good.
That's so good.
I don't know if I gave him enough sass, but there you go. Salty Sports Guy, clock management. We've kind of already talked about it a little bit, but I don't know. Clock management as a whole felt like an issue this game. I mean, if you looked back to the first half, and again, everything, hindsight's always going to be 20/20, but if you look back at the first half, the amount of time that it took for us to get the ball in the end zone with the Keenan Allen play, there was about 20 seconds that we ate up there. And granted, you're looking at it going like, we don't want to give the Raiders any more time than they need. But after Tillery gets the strip, it's like, well, shit, if we would have had 20 seconds, we might have actually been able to make a play and try and get it in the end zone. So I'm not saying that that's a fault that could have turned this game in a different direction, but as you pointed out in the whole final drive, taking 4 minutes to make one drive.
When you have 4.5 minutes, you have the whole playbook. You can check down all you want. You know, we got down there. I think it was the 30 seconds that Coach Lynn lost us without calling the timeout. That's what really cost us the extra chance down there at the goal line.
And I think that kick at the end of the first half, like there's an element, if you look back at that, to swing it back where you take an chance to make a play, like throw the ball or run the ball, like the football gods were in turnover mode right then. Like for me, I was like, please kick this field goal right now.
For sure.
So that was my interpretation of that.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, when you have 8 seconds, you got to make the kick. Question to you though, Kyle, because it kind of popped up as you were explaining it. As a coach, you know, he was clearly pleading for there to be a measurement to stop the clock and get a measurement to see if he was even close. At what point do you go, okay, they're not going to give us the measurement, I'm going to call a timeout? Like, do you think that he was truly spending those 20 seconds just going like, please, no, please, no, please, no, and just like 20 seconds just flew by? Or at what point do you have to make that decision as a coach to go like, okay, it, timeout? Like,
yeah, I think he got stuck in a weird spot. He was begging for them to measure and stop the clock. And then when it didn't, he was probably in his headset like, Shane, call a play. And then he didn't. And then called the timeout. You know, like in my head, that's kind of what happened. Sometimes when you're coaching, like you have, especially as the head coach, you have so many things that you're responsible for. You're kind of like whining and dining the referee at times, yelling him at times, making sure like this guy's hurt. We got to get this guy in and off the field. Make sure he's not on these special teams. Like communicating with all the coaches, with the box. Like there's a lot going on. So I think, yeah, that was just kind of a shit show. I think he just got caught there, not paying attention, and he cost us 30 seconds, 10 seconds. That's a long time to be debating.
That's
and
enough
begging,
for another play.
Begging,
that's 2 plays at the end of the game. We get 2 more shots trying to go into that.
So even if he wanted to beg and plead for them to go, try to see how far we were, 10 seconds, and then call your timeout. You know, like it's 4th down, huge play. You have 3 still in your pocket. Call the timeout after 10 seconds of not getting your way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There you go, Salty Sports Guy. That's our official opinion. Let's now look over to Michael Anthony, a.k.a. Manthony9494, who begs the question.
I noticed Anthony Lynn seemed to be more involved with the play calling this week. A couple times the cameras caught him pre-snap. He was looking at his play sheet and he was speaking into the mic. Do you think he was shortening the leash on Shane Steichen?
Is that the dude from oh my god, what's the Kubrick movie? Dr. Strangelove. Was that the Dr. Strangelove guy?
Oh, I don't know. It might be. I was reaching for Pat Buttram. He's an old actor if you remember, like Robin Hood. Pat Buttram. He was who was he? He was like the dog. He's in a lot of Disney movies, like as a dog, like Sam Hill, and just had that kind of that lisp.
Yeah.
Anyways, looking at the question, Mr. Anthony, I don't think so. I mean, there's certainly nothing to make us think that. I mean, Coach's got the mic on the whole time, and he's always got a play sheet. I don't know. Did you see anything, Kyle, that would make you think that Lynn was making more plays than Shane?
I don't know. It's possible. I don't
It's
necessarily
possible.
watch like when they cut to Anthony Lynn and how many times he looks at his play sheet throughout the game. He's an offensive coach. Like he's even came out and said that last week in one of his press conferences. That's what he did. He was an offensive coordinator, he running back coach. So he's and you have a 2nd year young offensive coordinator. So I'm sure he's always had some say in what's going on. So I wouldn't read too much into it, but it's possible, but no one really thinks that the offense is the issue. I don't think play calling on the offense has been what's losing us games.
The least of our worries.
Yeah, there's nothing to lead me to believe that he's shortening the leash on Steichen.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't.
It's a hot take, though.
It's an interesting thing to look at, and who knows, like, because all those coaches are connected with those headsets, so they're all talking to the booth and everybody up top, and who knows, but be interesting. That would definitely play towards not trusting your coaches, which is pretty much everything against what Lynn has said. Has full faith in his guys. So interesting idea.
That's not a stat that we're privy to on how many calls get called by which coach.
Right.
It's an interesting idea, though.
But it's an interesting concept. I like it. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. All right. I love the name of this guy. Sweet Peter Jeter, a.k.a. Austin McDowell, asks the question.
Who should the next HC be? And why do you think it's Eric Benimi?
Is that how you say his last name?
It's Bieniemy.
Bieniemy.
I don't know who this guy is, so I don't know why it should be this guy.
No, it's so early to say. Like he's like, it's the same thing I have a problem with the draft and how stupid I looked wanting Tua over Herbert. Like it's just this hype train of like, who's the one guy that is being talked about as a big potential head coaching candidate? It's Eric Bieniemy. It makes sense. I want to propose something to you. I have a little game I want to play.
Oh dear.
So we have such a problem with our defense. What if, because we have one more year on Lynn's contract. I know everyone's going to be like, get rid of him. How dare you, Kev, for saying this? How dare you? But would you be open to keeping Lynn, getting rid of Gus Bradley, and bringing in Rex Ryan to coach the defense? If Lynn could, in some magical world, get Rex Ryan to come be defensive coordinator. Discuss.
So,
well, he's not coaching anymore, right?
Right.
He's not, but he's been a head coach forever. That would be a huge step back.
They're like best friends, and he talks about him all the time on ESPN.
Gotcha.
And Bieniemy is the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs right now. So he is the hot name to be a head coach somewhere. I don't know. Like, I just don't. I would love that. I think that would be great. We'll see it. Rex Ryan is a very big personality, and it's might be good to shake things up in that manner. Like you said, kind of last week, Kev. I don't know. He's a very aggressive defensive play caller. He likes to bring a lot of pressure, run man to man, have a lot of stuff in there. So if we have a fully healthy roster, that'd be awesome. All that to say, yeah, I think that'd be cool. If that could happen, that'd be pretty sick. We would see what could happen, but yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
All right. Yeah, I'm not against it. I'm all for whatever the team thinks is the right thing to do to win games. If that's what they think is the right thing to do, I 100% support it. If they feel like keeping Lynn around and the entire coaching staff that we have this year, next year, I got
that's going to be a hard sell to the fans that are going to be showing up. One thing I'll say though
is, with offensive head coaches, like that's the whole idea as well, and that's the theory is it more beneficial to have an offensive minded head coach or a defensive minded head coach? And majority of the NFL has offensive minded head coaches. That's what we've had with McCoy, with Coach Lynn, with Schottenheimer, like going all the way back. We have offensive minded head coaches. So that might be a kind of a nice little twist is to bring in, if we don't have Coach Lynn next year, bring in a defensive minded head coach. Steichen, he's got it. Like he's doing a great job. He's got his staff is doing a good job. They have a young quarterback. Like coming into the season, that was everyone's biggest concern. It's like you have a good defense, good core of like receiver talent, a pretty good offensive line with some vets. It's just the quarterback. What's going to happen at quarterback, right? And that's been the least of our worries for our entire team is our quarterback.
Right.
So what do you do with Pep Hamilton then?
I don't know why he wouldn't stay a quarterback coach. I don't think because of one good season that he becomes a huge prospect for everyone trying to get him to become an offensive coordinator or something. I think he's going to be the quarterback coach, at least for another year, especially if him and Steichen work well together. But I think it would be cool to bring in more of a defensive minded head coach and see how that plays to our benefit a little bit. The offensive head coach thing hasn't always worked great for us.
Haven't won the Super Bowl yet. All right. Excellent question. Thank you, sweet Peter Jeter. I love saying that name. Next, we've got Chargers Daily One, aka just Chargers, who asked the question,
is anything gonna change even if we get new coaches?
I don't know, man.
This year or next year? That's the question. Because this year, I don't think anything changes. No.
But I think anyone that's been a Charger fan for any amount of time, it just seems like this is just the culture of our organization. So if you want to like blame it on anything, what's the one like piece that's been a part of all of these seasons? It's the ownership. So like to me, I'm like, let's just really shake things up. Somehow get the ownership out.
Sell the
I don't know
team.
how that happens.
After he just moved it to LA in a brand new stadium.
Well, that's why he did it. That's the only
Dana
reason
White,
he moved it to LA was to get the value up so he could sell it. So let's make that happen quicker and see if maybe that'll help.
Well, it's very possible. Yeah, it's hard to tell with new coaches. Like the players are still the players, and they're still going to play the way they play. And with a new coach staff, can they do that if injuries pop up, if we lose big players like we have this season and in previous seasons? That's what I want. We talk about offensive-minded coaches and defensive-minded coaches. I want an injury-minded coach that is able to figure shit out when we get these big injuries.
We just hire a personal trainer as our one of the doctors as our
doctor
coach
to be our coach.
So, guys, this year we won't be practicing. You'll all be wearing air boots,
VR.
And
VR.
we're going to practice in a swimming pool. Actually, that's where we'll be doing our work this year.
I just picture the kid from Little Giants that's like got the bubble wrap.
That should be our season in a nutshell right there. The bubble wrap kid from Little Giants.
It really should be. I wonder what he's up to these days. All right. Thank you, Chargers Daily One. Appreciate it. And now we look to Simon Schum, who he's got a voice, and I think we're going to stick with it. So here we go.
Muffed punts, special team penalties, missed field goals, special team letdowns really killing our chances here. Why do you guys think we haven't been able to address our special team issues?
I wish you guys could see Woolie's face while he does that voice. It's too good.
Your head's gonna pop. That's amazing.
Oh my god.
Oh shit. That's my favorite part of this. So Simon, you got to message us every week because I got to hear that voice. It makes me so happy every week.
All right.
I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago. It's like not enough time to prepare these guys with a new bunch of guys that we lost from the previous year. But if you look at the stats, we need a new coach. We need a new special teams coach.
You got to be able to work with that. Like, you got to make that work. Like
the other teams in the NFL are.
Yeah, we can't be 31st, 32nd 2 years in a row. It's just that shit needs to change this year. New coach next year. If anything, like right now, I can honestly, in my mind, be yes, that is the one thing we need to focus on. I would be even okay doing that switcheroo right now because it can't get any worse. Cannot get any worse.
I will say my boy Quentin Meeks was out there on special teams running around like
number
crazy
29.
man trying to
He's
make plays.
Fast as shit, dude.
Yeah, he was very fast. It's good to see him out
He's
there.
not a combine fast. He's football fast. And that's what some scouts don't get. But
that's where he needs to be fast.
I can't wait to see him play at corner here soon, hopefully.
Hope he gets some more snaps. So thank you, Simon. Always good to hear from you. Now
sorry, the voice is so funny.
Now let's turn to Shaba Ray, aka Shaba Ray, who asked the question:
surely there was a better, more reliable play option than throwing the second goal line fade, even if we had a mismatch, right? If you agree, was it on play calling or Herbert? I understand first fade because of time left to play and needed a quick throw, but the second one baffles me. James Bond.
That was a good Connery, dude.
That's the Chicago way.
R.I.P.
That was terrible. I'm sorry to Sean Connery, who just left us this year. Sean, everybody does your voice, including me, and I'll do it terribly.
That was good. We covered this. Yeah, that last play, couldn't agree with more. I don't know why you do the same thing twice to a XFL rookie who's not Mike Williams when you have some other studs that you should feel more comfortable throwing the ball to in a clutch, game-winning, let's get back on the right track situation, and it just didn't happen.
And here's the other thing as I think about it, it's like that defender just saw that play, right? Like he just did that. Hit him with a back shoulder stutter or try to throw him up and come back underneath, something different, because that defender's, he's like, I don't know, there's a muscle memory thing as a player. It's not always logical, but when you think that's coming again and then they hit you with something else, it's hard to react quick enough. So I'm okay with going at that guy again, especially being a backup, but put Keenan out there one-on-one with him and throw a back shoulder or something. I don't know. Yeah, I already gave my take, but yeah, I don't think it was the best play call.
Right. I didn't hate it, but coach definitely affirmed that options were out there that could have been better. So appreciate it, Shaba Ray. And Mike Nava, aka Mike FK7, who's been with us before. I don't remember what voice I gave him, so this week he gets this one. So, is our season over?
No, we still got 8 games.
No, but like I get what he's saying. Like, is it?
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna play more football games, but are we gonna play meaningful football games?
Right.
I think like the percentage of making the playoffs with our record from like the past is like 2% or something ridiculous. So technically, no. One more loss, probably yes. But it's a long shot now. I think we're all devastated because we lost to the Raiders and we haven't beat anyone in the AFC in like just 10 years. But
it feels like
it. And
there's still hope.
Still,
it's
just kind of fading off into the distance. This tiny little flickering light, but
I'll tell you what. If we can turn this thing around, we have some serious experience to go off of in close games when it comes playoff time.
And there's only so many more ways you can fuck up these games.
There's only so
you
many.
can't make it up anymore.
Right.
There's just nothing else you can really do.
Right.
I take that back. There are a lot of different ways you could ruin these, but it's just impossible that they would continue to do it.
Right. It's like that million ways to die in the West. We have a million ways to lose a football game.
In the AFC West.
In the AFC West. There you go. Oh, shit. That's a title. It's coming in hot. All right.
A million ways to die in the AFC West. Done.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. And last but not least, Super Bolts 34, a.k.a. Super Bolts 28, asks the question.
What does it mean to be a Chargers fan? No, it's not a joke.
The question got creepy.
That was awesome, dude.
Yeah,
that was a good Joker.
Yeah.
Solid.
That's my Joker iteration.
This is an existential question.
It is.
Something
What
I've been trying to.
is a Charger
What
fan?
is the meaning of life? I don't know. Why do we like to get our hearts broken every Sunday? I don't know.
It's
All I know-
loyalty in the face of absolute devastation. That's what being a Charger fan is. Just we're loyal. Like that's all you can say.
That's all we know what to
Like,
be right now. And not only that, I mean, back in the day when we were Charger fans, like you didn't necessarily know a lot about the players. But in this day and age, when you have things like Hard Knocks, when you have things like social media, like you are able to get more connected with each individual player that you want to be connected with. You can get connected with Herbert, Hunter Henry. You can even get connected with Donald Parham or Quentin Meeks. They all have social media accounts, and I love these guys. These guys are really
who you
awesome.
couldn't get connected with?
Phillip Rivers.
I know, but you didn't have to because you saw him on the field. He brought his emotion. He didn't need a social media account. You knew what his hashtag was when he was on the field. Hashtag dadgummit, golly gee whiz.
Do we want to bring up his tackle from that last game?
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
I thought it was hilarious, but no, we don't.
We laughed about it, but let's not bring it up here.
Right. No, let's not kick a guy when he's down and trying to tackle a guy.
Literally.
Yeah, we don't make fun of Phil on this podcast.
All right. And lastly, let's turn it over to Mr. Craig from Texas, who sends us in one more audio bit. What do you got for us this week, Craig?
Fellas, it's your good buddy Craig in Texas here, and happy Heartbreak Monday to you. Hope you gents woke up feeling a little less defeated than yesterday. I know I don't, but hey, silver lining, Justin Herbert, complete unit, so at least the future looks bright there. As far as the rest of the squad goes, I got nothing. So here's where my focus is. Remainder of the year, who knows where we're going to end up with dubs and L's. But what I do want to see is guys playing with effort and heart. Those cats need to stick around. Whoever quits needs to be out the door with whoever's not going to be around from the coaching staff, which right now looks like it's probably going to be Lynn and Bradley. And boy, Gus in that cover 3, man. Hate harping on this every week, but we know that defense isn't supposed to give up a ton of big plays. It's supposed to actually limit it, but it's not working out that way. And Buddy is stuck in circa 2005 to 2011 where he had the Legion of Boom and hasn't figured out that these guys ain't that. That said, really curious to see what you guys think about how the rest of the season is going to play out and what you're going to be focused on because at this point, playoffs look like a no-go. Never going to give up on my team. Always going to be as positive as possible, of course. That's our thing. Bo gang or do bang. Love you guys. Take it easy.
Thanks, Craig.
Craig. That was beautiful.
Yeah, dude.
I love that energy,
We got the sweet with the sour. I felt like it was a little roller coaster hearing his little...
I was engaged. That was great.
That was really good.
I was also kind of sad, though. I mean...
It's realistic. He's being realistically...
It's a realistic look. I'm surprised he didn't mention the special teams coach in there.
I think that goes without saying for most people now.
I guess that's
I just think he likes to dig at Coach Kai with the cover 3 I love it.
I know.
I love it.
Everyone hates the cover 3. It's fine. It's fine. It's whatever.
It's fine. You're allowed to hate it.
The sentiment is the same. I'm not ready to give up on the playoffs yet. I'm stupid like that. You never know, but I agree. Effort.
Yeah, I'd like to say that I've not given up on the playoffs, but I've given up on the playoffs. That's like, I'm with Craig. Like, I want to see, and our coaching staff clearly isn't afraid to just trade people away if they're not meshing with the team, So I'm sure that they are as well in evaluating who's there to play and who's gonna moan and complain about playing time and who's not in it for the right reason. So I think they're absolutely evaluating it for those reasons. And I haven't seen anybody not play except for Trey Turner. It's the only guy that I would question, but everybody else seems like they're playing hard, trying to win games, and we're in every one of them.
Yeah, I think you bring up an interesting point on Gus Bradley still thinking that he's got the Legion of Boom, but he's working with the Chargers D. I mean, it's another reason to look at the injuries as being a possibility for why we're not able to turn it up in these second halves. I'm not putting a blame on that. I'm just saying that that's one more notch to consider in this mixture, this cog of what's happening with this team.
They're not, and by the way, they're not.
I just have one more thing. I have one more thing.
I want to say something real quick.
No, Princess, I have one more thing.
No, 1 second.
Don't let me lose this thought.
I just want to say something. Wait, just real quick. Can I say it?
You both are going to lose it.
They're no longer Jack Boys to me anymore because they haven't intercepted anything in a while.
Well, none of the Jack Boys are actually playing.
They're still calling themselves the
It's
Jack
not the
Boys.
OG Jack Boys. This is
OG Jack. They're not the OG
Here's
Jacks.
my point.
They're not even Jacks anymore.
Here's my point. Craig's point was, how were you running cover 3 and not stopping anything deep, like the big deep boys? What do you think what would happen if they were running something else? How much worse would it be? Like, in my mind, it's like, man, our cover 3 is not stopping big plays. What if we were in man or trying to run cover 2 with Rayshon and Nasir, or running some kind of cover 4 combination where these players have to think about what they're doing and not just play? So it's like, I don't like, you just don't know.
How do you get any worse than giving up big touchdowns? Like, I don't see how it could. Like, I see the opposite way. I say give them a chance to do something else.
I mean,
you give up 2 big plays, you could give up 12.
The only thing that I'll throw out there, and I've heard this before, is at least trying to get more blitzes. I mean, we're still touted as the team that does the least amount of blitzing. And normally we've got Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram on either side, so you can expect them to get to the guy better. But when you don't have Joey Bosa, you just have Melvin Ingram, and there was questionable on Nwosu having play time, and even Kenneth Murray having play time. Should we not at least be trying to blitz and attack the ball and not give the quarterback a chance to throw it to that banged up secondary that's having issues?
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
We're desperate as shit right now.
If I wanted to see a change, I'd like to see a few more blitzes. I don't want to be the one team in the league that has the least amount of blitzes. As impressive it can be at certain times,
right?
It hasn't been this season.
Not. Yeah, we need to go get after the quarterback for sure. We got to start taking more chances. We're not the favorites in these games. We're the underdogs. So you got to start taking chances and making big plays and hoping for the best. You're not just going to be able to show up, lace them up, and win football games. So I agree. I don't know. I'm trying to defend people that don't know if there's anything to defend anymore. But
Kyle's in existential crisis.
It's just hard. I'm just a coach. Like, as a coach, I don't want the parents to be talking crap, calling for my job either, because there's stuff that was out of my control that was happening. So I'm going to try to defend the coaches. Sometimes I'm not going to be able to, and I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I agree. I think we need to start taking some more chances for sure. It's clearly not working.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Craig. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, bud.
Thank you all for your questions. As I can't stress enough, these voices aren't meant to make fun of you. I'm just trying to keep it fun and interesting and unique and different. And as we lose each one of these motherfucking games, yeah, it's tough to be a Charger fan, but I love these guys. I can't get enough of them. So upcoming game, as we've already mentioned, Chargers versus the Dolphins, battle of the rookie quarterbacks. This is the first time we'll see 2 first-round quarterbacks play against each other in a game. And boy, Herbert seems to be more productive than Tua, based on what I've heard and read.
Kevin's old love versus his new love.
Right.
No, this is don't please. Let's just. I'm trying to separate myself as much from that shitty take I had during the draft
Fight
process.
for my honor, boys.
Yeah. Okay, Adam, add in a little sound clip here of when Tua got drafted by the Dolphins.
Don't do it. Just don't you fucking do that to me, you sons of bitches.
Oh man, that is good. It's almost as good as you drafting Antonio Brown in fantasy football last year as he was a Raider.
Almost.
It's almost as good as you looking like you're 4 years old right now.
Oh, good one. At least I can grow a beard.
What do you look at my face?
Hey,
What does this look like?
time out. We're fine. All right. The upcoming game is Charger versus the Dolphins. We got some bold predictions to make. Coach, what's your bold prediction?
All right, my bold prediction, guys. I'm seconds away from predicting a Charger loss, so that hopefully it like counteracts the universe and we win.
Do it.
No,
not gonna happen. No. I'm going 31-0 Chargers.
Ooh.
I'm going doubling down here on our 2-6 Chargers. 31-0, and Bosa comes back and gets 3 sacks. That's what I'm bold prediction. Suck on that, Tua.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know
about
what to
you?
do
What
with
about
that.
you, Kev? What do you got? What's your bold prediction?
You kind of threw me, dude. I thought I had what I wanted. But
You want to be more bold than that?
Look what you did. You went and did
100 to nothing.
and totally redeemed yourself for that making fun of me. 31-0 Bosa, 3 sacks. Huh. I still want to try and win this. This little bet we do every week where we try and have the best bold prediction. I'm still trying to win this. Kyle clearly doesn't really want to try and win this week. So it's what is it? I hope it. If I lose to this, I love it.
Ever.
That would
if
be
I
the
lose
most
to
epic
this,
victory ever.
I will praise you forever. But I think it's going to be another close game, another nail biter. I think it's going to be, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to keep hitting this until it happens. 31-30 Chargers.
Jesus.
I'm doing it again because we can't get, no, at 31-28. How about that? 31-28 Chargers.
Still the same.
Pretty close. Pretty damn
Give
close.
me something different than a 1-score game, please.
No, because that's what we're going to do. I want to be slightly realistic with my pick.
Right.
And I think Bosa's going to have 2 sacks.
Okay.
Real original.
Two Bosa bold predictions.
Watch. It's going to be perfect.
It just doesn't sound bold after I predict 3 sacks.
It's not bold. It's bolt predictions, Kyle. Shut
It's
up.
A play on words, Kevin.
You're a play on words,
Okay.
Kyle.
Question.
Wooly, what do you got?
Tua's played 2 games, right?
Yes.
Who were those teams that he beat?
He beat somebody good last week. They beat the Cardinals and the Rams, so 2 good teams.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, it's not great for us.
All right. I just wanted to know who he beat, even though it's a team effort.
His team beat that team.
I know.
He didn't do much. So the Dolphins rallied around him and won him a game, 2 games. He's not playing amazingly. So I'll keep that
against
in
the
mind.
Cardinals. He was 20 for 28 for 248 and 2 tutties. So
I take it back. He played pretty good.
He played
playing good.
amazingly. He couldn't have played any better.
Pretty good last week. 20 for 24. That's pretty good. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's the
20
thing.
for 28. Yeah.
When I talk about like it's all the pros and cons of a football game, like everything is like instant. It's like, and you can't take it back. Like you can't compare when the Chargers play against these teams and we lose to a team that they beat or that they lost to, and it's like, okay, well, if we beat these guys, we should be able to win against these guys. It's always week to week. So that being said, my bold prediction is going to be Chargers win.
That's it? Just Chargers win?
You would think
bold.
at this point that's a bold prediction going freaking 2-6. Chargers are going to win. I'm going to say 35-24. I feel like this. I feel like this could be the one that could at least separate Herbert and Tua. And I mean, because Herbert's been winning Rookie of the Week, won again. Again, we forget to mention, won again Rookie of the Week. So far, not from this last game, but the previous week. So he's 5 for 6 of games
I
that he's
love that our
played that
fan
he
base,
won Rookie of the Week.
Our fan base owns this. Like you see
Yeah,
it on
'cause this is
Reddit, you see it on Twitter.
fan-voted.
It's like we can win this.
Right.
Yeah.
This is something we have control of as fans, and we win it for him every week, even when we lose.
I'm pretty sure Karen wins it for Justin every single week.
The quickest click in the West.
Yeah. Another
So,
title.
I think
Yeah.
this has to be the game that I think separates Herbert from Tua and shows the world who the better quarterback is. And so, yeah, I'm going to say 35-24. And my bold prediction is Herbert runs 2 touchdowns.
Oh, 2 rushing touchdowns.
I hope he doesn't
Two
get.
rushing touchdowns for Herbert.
You know what's funny? I
got
was more
legs.
devastated at the thought of Herbert getting hurt and when he got kneed in the nuts than I was with the loss. Like I was literally like in full panic. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Were you guys there with me on that?
Totally, because I'm borderline emotionally checked out of these games at this point because I can't. If they win, it's great, but if they lose, I can't let them hurt me anymore. I can't let that happen.
You're guarded.
I'm really guarded. So yeah, seeing Herbert get hurt, that's a knife to the heart. Like you don't want
That's a future.
That. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
no.
future of this team because you don't know what kind of injury he was
So
dealing
you sure
with.
you want him running for 2 touchdowns? Is that what you want?
He's not going to get hit. He's just going to run.
Yeah, I'm
in
not saying he's
nice
going
and
to
simple.
pinball his way in there. I'm just going to say there's going
Okey-dokey.
to be a wide open door and he's going to walk right in, set right down. Baby, let your hair hang down. All right, let's get out of this. All right, for those of you that have stuck around and listened this whole way through, thank you. Thank you to all the people that have reached out on Twitter. Thank you to Scott. Thank you to Craig, since you're always sending in a audio bit. We really appreciate all of you for listening, and don't be afraid to reach out to us on Twitter. I mean, just because I give everybody a funny, weird voice doesn't mean that you shouldn't reach out and ask us a question.
If anything, that should be motivated to find out what your voice would be.
Ooh, yeah, there you go. It's a secret. It's a mystery.
Ooh.
It just won't be Arnold. Apparently, Simon Schum has the corner mark on Arnold from Hong Kong. So thank you again to everybody. Don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you, bye.
Okay, love you, bye.
Okay, love you, bye.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Hey, Charger fans, do you like Chinese food like I do? You bet. Where do you find good Chinese food? In Hong Kong, no doubt. Yeah, so visit Arnold's in Hong Kong to get your Chinese food today. We got dumplings, chow mein, sweet and sour pork, wontons, and my personal favorite Simon Schum recipe, Kung Pao chicken. So please, if you would, visit Arnold's in Hong Kong. Go, Charge, go!